Welcome back to the Build Show. I'm Travis Brungart, and this week I want to talk to you about the challenges of residential remodeling. You don't always get to pick the existing conditions, as you can tell, shoot and build show in the rain. One of the things that's tricky about a residential remodel is sizing your HVAC. Mechanical design is tough when you don't know where you're going to end up on air leakage and performance. But there's a few tricks that you can work your way around these problems, and one of them is the versatility of heat pumps that can offer variable capacity. So I'm going to tell you all about it in this episode today, sponsored by Bosch. Come check it out. So as you can see inside of this originally 1940s era home, we've done a lot. And one of the things we've done is made this one large common volume, vaulted the ceiling, and really opened this space up. We've added some windows and obviously done all the air sealing and insulating that you would expect from us. But one of the things we couldn't get the clients to design out of this home is the old air sucker back there. That's the fireplace that I just cannot get rid of. And that makes it so hard to know where I'm going to end up on my air tightness. So we started looking at, what's a good solution for a mechanical design that's going to allow us to realistically deliver comfort and efficiency to our client. And we needed something that was going to be, variable capacity, and that's where Bosch came in. So we reached out to our friends at Bosch. We were lucky enough that we were able to catch BJ and Fred on site today, and I'm going to let them explain the strengths of their system because, boy, they know it inside and out. Let me bring them in. All right, as I said, we've got to bring in the right people for the job. Time and time again, you'll hear somebody talking about something and they throw out all the right words, but they don't necessarily know what they're talking about. And that would be me in this situation because this is my first time utilizing the great equipment from Bosch. I was excited that we had a solution available to us, but I wasn't quite sure how to make that happen. So I called in the experts. I've got BJ and Fred here. Let me start by having you guys introduce yourself. BJ, who are you and what do you do?
Great. Hey, my name is BJ Bailey. I'm with SFE Enterprises. We are the local manufacturer's representative for Bosch Home Comfort here in the Kansas City area.
And when I called you about this specifically, you said, oh, can we talk on Tuesday maybe? Because Fred's going to be in town. Fred, you have kind of a big deal job at Bosch. What do you do?
I've been working for Bosch for about 16 years, and I am one of the factory trainers that gets to travel the nation doing the Bosch training, and we're very familiar with this IDS product.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned IDS because that was one of the things. I said people get excited about letters. If you do any sort of searching online, you're going to find people talking about ECM motors and VRF and all this stuff. And Bosch has IDS. What's IDS?
Okay, IDS. Bosch, by the way, loves acronyms, but IDS represents inverter ducted systems, which means that it is an inverter-driven compressor, heat pump, and we need ductwork to blow the air through and move the BTUs.
In Kansas City, the market that we're in today, and in a remodel like this, I took out a ducted system that was a 5-ton forced air, not a heat pump, just a traditional furnace with an air conditioner.
Okay.
And that's what we got rid of, and it wasn't very efficient, and it was certainly not comfortable for the client. So we ripped out all the ductwork, put in new ductwork that we designed, and then paired it with your system of 2 different components,
okay.
Plus the control, obviously. But in a heat pump, we're moving energy. It's the same device, moves heat one way.
Yep.
You can't make cool, but it can move heat in or out depending on the season. Exactly. Is that right?
So normal air conditioner, you got the condenser sitting outside, you got the evaporator sitting on the indoor unit, and when the heat pump mode comes into play, now we just switch those. We grab the BTUs that is available outside and we move them to the inside and let the now condenser just let that air go, and here comes the heat.
So that is what we do on, I want to say 100% of our projects for the last decade. We haven't put in a gas-fired forced air furnace in quite a while. Mm-hmm. We like heat pumps for their efficiency. We like that we can get good local support if we are dealing with newer technology, and we've had great success delivering comfort that way. But I was a little bit worried about this project because I didn't know quite where we were going to land on our leakage and some of the other factors. The fireplaces are just real tricky. So with that being said, I had reached out to BJ and said, we've got this load, I think, but I'm not sure what equipment to choose. And you said what?
So we were able to move and match our different outdoor units with our different indoor units to be able to meet the SEER ratings that we need and the capacity that we have in that ductwork.
So where I was hoping to maybe come in about 2.5 tons, I was worried it might not go the way I wanted and I might need 4. And they're like, well, it's going to be way too much. We're going to do that. It's the gas break methodology of home comfort where you're blowing all the cool you can and then you shut it off for about 10 minutes and it calls for it again, or heat, regardless, same principle. You said something really smart outside, Fred. You were talking about the way that your technology works, and if you describe that again for our viewers, I think that would be really helpful, about modulating.
If we looked at the old style air conditioners, and I call them Grandpa's unit, and I hope that that's okay. Grandpa's comfort zone with the graph would be up and down, up and down. You got mountains, you got valleys, and it was just like this. I am cold, I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hot. With an inverter-driven product, literally what we're doing is we are taking the BTUs that's inside that are uncomfortable to us, and we're taking them outside. My system with that inverter-driven product, basically you got a compressor out there that is load matching the BTUs that I need to move, and I am load matching through the refrigeration circuitry. And I am taking those BTUs and I am now able to just give the wattage and the energy usage that I need. So if I need over 100%, here we go. If I don't need less than 100%, here we go. So it literally, my comfort level is no longer this, it's this. And my system is, again, 80-something steps of capability of moving those BTUs.
So this is just like the way that we try to handle all the rest of our building systems. I'm trying to keep things really constant. I don't want to get a comfort call, so I don't want it to be colder by my window than it is by my wall. So I buy a really nice window that doesn't leak and has really low U value. And then I put a ton of insulation in my wall because I want it to be kind of static. I don't want those peaks and valleys. So what you're doing is you're providing equipment that does what all my other building science stuff does. You're just matching what is needed and keeping it steady.
That is not only the efficiency, what I pay the electric bill every month. It is to me, it's beyond that, and it is the comfort. The comfort with Sensible, the comfort with Layton, all of those things have to add up because, you know what, I could be comfortable and pay a lot of money. Right. Don't want to do that. So with the Bosch system, I can, again, load match with that inverter technology, and I literally don't have to have that proprietary thermostat, that controller that's sitting on the wall that is talking from my indoor unit to my outdoor unit. Bosch doesn't do that. We do it very simply in that we use the refrigeration circuitry to tell the board, to tell the compressor what it needs to do through the refrigeration process. And so through the refrigeration process, do I communicate? Absolutely. Every 20 seconds, I'm looking at this. So as the load builds up, if the kid leaves the back door open and the load builds up, here goes my compressor. If the load starts to slow down and I'm getting everything pretty close to being matched with the set point on the thermostat, the load starts to shrink, so does my compressor.
So contrasting that with the system that I removed from this house, it would be, well, the back door is open, a little bit of warm air hit my thermostat, floor it. We're going to blast this thing with all the AC we can handle. Let's see if we can put all 5 tons into this spot right now. And then close the door. It cycles off because it's no longer seeing that sensible need, and we've wasted a ton of energy. And also, we really haven't delivered comfort because it was loud, it was inefficient, and it was probably real darn cold right by the duct, and we have to diffuse that a little bit. So the nice building envelope helps with this a little bit, but having the proper equipment to back that up is key. You mentioned something about Sensible and Layton, and I think that trips up certainly not our HVAC contractors, but some of our builder friends and people that are in other trades, or even a homeowner that might be trying to figure out a system. I wanted to take BJ back to the thermostat here because the control is what most of my clients see more than anything else. Sure. I can usually get them to change the filter, but they don't do much at the outdoor unit. They're not they're not checking things out much. But let's talk at the thermostat, and then Fred, I want you to show me what we've got down in the basement and describe the unit.
Let's go there.
Come on. All right, BJ, thanks for coming over here to this fine thermostat that you guys came through in the clutch and delivered. I forgot to order my thermostat. We started our install. I was like, well, I can't really commission the system if we don't have the controller. You guys had it for me. I appreciate that. But I wanted to talk about this piece of equipment because it's the main thing that my client interfaces with. They're not going to go out and pull superheat and subcool on their line sets. They're not really going to do much more than change the filter downstairs at the air handler. But this, they're going to see multiple times a day, but I don't want them to mess with it. And I think that's the way you feel too. This is not the way that it used to be when we were growing up, where it was a setback thermostat and, oh, I'm going to save all this energy. I'm going to have it go 78 while I'm at work, bring it back down to 68 when I get home. That's a huge waste of money and efficiency in the houses that we build today, because everything's holding pretty steady. And that's really what Bosch has done with their system, is make it modulate and hold steady.
Absolutely, and a lot of that has to do with our multiple step, almost 80 different stages in that compressor. So that older thermostat that you were talking about, that was a single stage compressor. It was on or it was off. So as we turn those things down, now we're trying to account for that. With this compressor out here on our heat pump unit, now we can ramp that compressor up and down to match the load in the house, saving us energy and saving us our money. This is the BCC 110. At its heart, it's a fairly simple control, and really we need that for our IDS unit outside. It is Wi-Fi compatible. You can check it at work, you can check it on vacation, you can see what it's doing, you can adjust it from there if necessary. But really what we're letting this do is work with the outdoor compressor so that it can meet that set point and keep you cool and comfortable.
That's all I need for my clients. They just want to be comfortable. They don't want to know how it works. They just want to know that it is going to work and they can leave it alone. We had a little conversation about latent and sensible, and I think that trips up a lot of people. The easiest way that I can explain it is that your latent load, just think of it as humidity. If you feel hot and sticky, if your magazine pages get wavy, you got too much RH. We've got to get that down. You guys do a little bit with internal dehumidification when we're running cooling, but can you talk a little bit about that and how this is working?
So we're still going to read our dehumidification point here at the thermostat, but again, going back to that compressor modulating itself up and down, when paired correctly with our air handler in the basement, we can really attack a lot of that humidity issues that we have in houses, especially here in the Kansas City area.
Yeah, we're certainly a humid climate. What I'm wondering is, will it respond to that latent load and run a little longer to dehumidify? Because that's what we need, is to get more air across that cold coil to pull that moisture out.
Absolutely. We can also change some of those set points to let that unit run even longer if necessary so we can get that humidity out of there.
That's key. So I think from here we should head down and take a look at that unit, because I also have a heat kit I need to talk to you about.
Excellent.
All right, Fred, this is the 4-ton that we paired with the 5-ton capacity on the outdoor unit. And I want you to talk about how you guys do that, because that's tricky to me.
Absolutely. Congratulations on choosing the newest air handler and the newest equipment that Bosch has.
Good job, BJ.
So what you have is a 454B product, not the 410A.
That's right.
This particular air handler, again, 4-ton, okay, I can tell by the model number, you've got some heat strips in here.
Yes, sir.
And the heat strips are there just for emergency situation, or when my system is running in the heat mode and I go into defrost.
Ah, right.
When I go into defrost, I'm actually in the air conditioning mode and I'm going to defrost the ice that is going to build up on now the evaporator outside. And I'm going to have to get rid of that ice, but I'm still in the air conditioning mode, still calling for heat from the thermostat. So this doesn't know what to do because it's just blowing air, and we don't want to blow air, cold air anyway, and so we turn on some heat strips.
Yeah.
That particular cycle is going to be less than 8 minutes. So it's a very quick situation of de-icing what may be out there on the outdoor unit, bringing on the heat strips, turning that on so that we stay comfortable. Okay?
Sure.
Now, this particular label right here, that label is A2L. The A2L is a brand new label that all manufacturers had to deal with because of the new refrigerant. That A2L represents that there is a lightly flammable refrigerant within the circuitry of the refrigeration lines. There's a sensor down here that is literally looking for, I call it a radar if you don't mind, but it's literally looking for particulates that are airborne that is going to pass by it. It doesn't pass through it, it just passes by it. And as it's passing by it, if it senses that we are losing refrigerant within this system, it is going to say, whoa, hang on a second, I'm losing refrigerant. It is going to kill the outdoor unit, stop it.
Okay. So stop pumping.
And the compressor is going to stop, and then we're going to turn on this multi-speed fan inside here to the highest denominator.
And exhaust that?
And to dissipate the refrigeration that's inside this air handler into the ductwork throughout the system to basically keep it from bonding itself together and causing problems.
So instead of a concentration of a potentially flammable material, we're diluting it across a massive airstream.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've got a whole lot of space in here to get rid of that. Now you said something a while ago, Travis, that really is a situation. It's not a problem. It's just a situation that we really couldn't ever do with the old systems. The old systems, you'd had to have a 5-ton on a 5-ton, and you had a 4-ton sitting outside with a 5-ton coil in here. You would never have a 4-ton with the capacity of a 5-ton sitting out there.
That's right.
Okay, so here's what happens. That particular unit is smarter than all of us. Okay,
I believe it.
If you don't mind. That particular board again, allows that compressor to see what's going on inside here. Here's the load. This is the load.
Right.
We're bringing in the load, the fresh load, we're getting rid of it. And that is a modulating compressor out there that, as this 4-ton picks up 4 tons of BTUs, that system out there will run as a 4-ton system. If it picks up 4.5 tons of BTUs, that system out there will pick up 4.5 tons and get rid of 4.5 tons of BTUs. Not very many systems out there can do that.
That's pretty slick.
It's real slick. it's real, and the neatest thing, I saw you guys talk about the thermostat a while ago, and a lot of manufacturers want to modulate things with the thermostat, and that thermostat's talking to this, and this is talking to that, and whatnot. We don't do that. Very, very simple thermostat. Literally from here to the outdoor unit is 4 wires.
Yeah, it ain't much. It was easy.
4 wires. That is the way that Bosch went to market. Simplistic. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that air conditioning contractors need simplicity.
But we like speed.
We do like speed. Money is speed is good.
Yes, sir.
Speed is good. So, and again, very, very simple situation here. We have a air handler that has basically a 5-speed motor.
Okay.
This one, I can pick 4 of those.
Yep.
Okay, and I can ramp up and down, move those modulations from here, from Y1 to Y2. You've got a thermostat up there, that BCC 110, that if I set my humidity at 50% and it's 52%, I'm feeling sticky and icky.
Yep. Okay,
this unit will get notified that that controller is now going to be in what is called a DH mode, dehumidify.
Of course.
The dehumidify mode is meaning that I'm sending a signal from the controller to this, and this is going to react to the controller, and it is going to downgrade the fan speed, which is going to allow this coil to have a little bit more temperature to be able to collect.
There we go.
Okay, and one of the things that, and I will tell you that Bosch is constantly changing their situation to make it better.
Yeah.
Okay? One of our mottos is invented for life. Well, that invented for life means that, listen, we're going to get the best that we can get out of this, okay, for your life, for the life expectancy of the unit.
Right.
And so our BCC 110, literally on the front side of a call for air conditioning, we used to do it on the back side. Now on the front side of this call is when the dehumidification kicks in. So literally what I'm looking at when the sensible hits and it calls for the Y, I am now looking at the dehumidification. Am I okay or not? Oh, I'm not. This thing will go down into the dehumidification mode, drop the fan speed, and I start dehumidifying before other people start cooling.
That makes a ton of sense how you've explained it, because I kind of was like, is this just a sales pitch? I don't understand how you can do that. But the way you've explained it, if we have that cold coil and our air is blowing across it slower, then we're pulling more moisture out of that air, condensing it on that cold coil and getting rid of it. So we don't necessarily have to have different separate equipment. We don't necessarily have to run it that much longer. If we're running that lower fan speed, excuse me, it is probably a longer run time, but it's less energy use, right?
The longer run time is better for us.
It's beneficial, right?
Is in that this is a variated compressor, and I'm literally, truthfully, probably just wanting to be on.
Right.
Okay. Here's my comfort level.
Let it flow.
I'm just comfortable.
I get it.
It is no longer the amp draw or the watt usage that we used to have with the other units.
I understand.
Okay.
Well, that's quite a development, and it makes a huge difference for us because, again, it's all about client comfort. That's what you get a callback for. I've never had a callback for, hey, I spent $3 more this month on my bill. I've never had that call, but I have had the, hey, it doesn't really seem like we're comfortable even when it's cool enough. And like a day like today, it's raining outside and it's not that far above 70 degrees, but we're running, and we're running real quiet. You probably can't hear it on camera, but this is very quiet equipment. It's probably running right now for that latent load, not for a sensible, because it's pretty comfortable today.
Absolutely, and I will say that when Bosch hired me in 2010, they hired me to be a geothermal trainer.
Oh, okay.
I'm a geo guy. I live in Western Oklahoma. I'm a geo guy.
Bury it.
I bleed geo and bury it and all that kind of thing. I'm a geo guy.
Okay.
But this particular unit has not drawn me across the line. It's not pulled me across the line yet.
Fred, come on.
I still have geo in my house. Okay.
Okay.
But here's the thing. This unit, in a lot of cases, have been installed in homes that we didn't have to go nuke the backyard to put geothermal in.
There you go.
And the efficiencies, the comfort level rivals geothermal.
That's impressive. Well, we're really happy with the equipment. I don't know that we'll end up using much in the way of volts on that heat strip, but if I ever need it, I'm glad that it's here. My clients are going to be glad that it's here. If we have a nasty cold snap and we need it and we got to de-ice, we'll do that. But otherwise, everything about this pretty quick and easy. I want to head out to the outdoor unit because that thing's pretty slick. So let's go do it.
Yeah, that's where the magic is.
Let's go do it.
Let's go do it.
So with the thermostat and the indoor unit and all the conversations, I've kind of buried the lead, and I don't want you to miss the star of the show. Check this out. Hey, Fred.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about this magical box?
This one here?
That's the one.
Well, yes, sir, I sure can. This particular unit is a 5-ton. The magic is inside the control panel here. We're not going to take it off because of the moisture and water in the air, but you can see that we were off and now we're fixing to be on. All right. One of the nicest things about this unit is its quietness. Here in about 25, maybe 30 seconds, the compressor is going to be coming on. A lot of other manufacturers have what is called locked rotor amps, or LRA. That is the amp draw that blinks the lights. That is the system when we know that it's on because it blinked a light. This unit, when it comes on, I'm talking about the compressor, it is going to pull less than 1 amp. That's just kind of crazy numbers at that point in time. This unit, when it's running full blast, will probably pull about 7 to 9, maybe 9.5 amps. So the amp draw, the watt usage, the efficiency of this unit, it is what Bosch calls invented for life. This motor is going to be capable of ramping up and down. It doesn't do it with airspeed. It does it with refrigerant temperature. It modulates according to that refrigerant temperature so that we not only don't have a great blast of air, but we're not using that energy that we don't need to use to get rid of the heat. This is a 10-speed modulating fan. It ramps down again with the refrigerant temperature. But inside here is the controls. We call it the brains if you don't mind. It is a controller that is going to look at that refrigerant that's coming back. We're looking at the BTU load that's within inside the structure, and we're looking at that every 20 seconds, and we're seeing what's going on, and that compressor is going to basically load match what's happening inside the structure. Hydrophilic coils, that's the blue tint on the outside. That is basically, if you don't mind, it's a water wicking material. We want to get the water away from the coil as fast as possible. That's why it's blue. You can now see the fan motor start to go down into capacity or go down into speed. We didn't need that high velocity a while ago. All we need is this speed right now. It's about 72 degrees outside. It's raining a little bit, but I can feel the heat that's coming off of this particular unit. And you're like, where's that heat coming from? It's coming from the BTUs that's inside this structure. Again, load matching. Here we are. We're ramping down again. Everybody hear it? Oh, you don't hear it. It's pretty quiet. Travis, you got any questions about this?
I do. I have done only a few installs myself, and we actually work with Pride Mechanical here in Kansas City because they do a really great job. Patrick did a fantastic job raising these in, and what he commented on is how quick the install was.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you guys did anything extra, or he's just that good, or maybe you guys are just naturally making life easy. But you mentioned downstairs a 4-wire connection. So we're not messing with a bunch of control wires out here. Right. We're not trying to land and terminate 12 different pair. It's a real simple system.
Right.
I don't know that there's anything that an installer likes better than getting in and getting out and getting paid.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things as an old contractor that really was eye-opening for me, in that if this particular unit is a air conditioner out of the box, so literally what I'm saying is that this is an air conditioner that can heat.
Yeah.
I've got a reversing valve in here, but I activate that reversing valve on a B terminal or energize it in the heat mode. So literally out of the box, it's an air conditioner. So if I'm only going to run this as an air conditioner, I just need 2 wires. You talking about more simple? It's just 2 wires coming out here, and I've got 2 wires that are going to be energizing a board that's going to bring that compressor on. That compressor is an 80-stepped compressor. It's got, if you don't mind, it's got 80-something gears to it. Modulates.
And that's how it's perfectly matching all the time. That's slick.
There is a yellow tag on our equipment that's basically the SEER rating, the efficiency rating. That efficiency rating is a determination through testing and materials and that kind of thing, and with AHRI. That's the Bible of our industry, if you don't mind. That particular situation is a number that is given when this unit is in a 100% air conditioning operation.
Got it.
So when it's modulating as it is right now, and it's not at 100%, it is a whole lot better miles per gallon SEER rating than what that tag says it is. So the majority of the time, it's going to be less than that 100% number, and it's going to be a whole lot less than what you would see on that yellow tag, 18 SEER, 20 SEER, whatever it may be.
It's outperforming most of the time.
Again, that is when we can literally say with confidence it rivals geothermal.
That's impressive. Well, I got to tell you, Fred, this has been really enlightening for me as someone who doesn't know all the 16 years of stuff that you've been teaching for Bosch. I really appreciate you and BJ coming out and help us out on our project. Really appreciate the performance. My client's really going to appreciate how quiet and comfortable the unit is. Thanks for everything, Fred.
Thank you.
Come on in and out of the rain.
Come on.
Well, that about does it. As you can see, if you have an old leaky house that you're renovating and you're not quite sure where you're going to land, you might want to take advantage of the variable capacity of these Bosch units that BJ and Fred talked us through today. Or even if you're doing a nice new high performance home like we usually build, you can deliver exceptional comfort and energy efficiency. So you can learn more at bosch-homecomfort.com and find out what you need for your project. Thanks Bosch for your sponsorship, and thanks for watching The Build Show. We'll see you next time.